Merchandise that remains unsold at the end of the accounting period is known as merchandise inventory end, which is commonly known as the stock.
So, ano nga ba yung merchandise inventory end? So, let's say, sa 6 boxes of Milo, di ba mga January, March, February, ganon mga time, each of the month, nababawasan ang ating inventory. Kasi yung mga tao, kada pack sila bumibili ng Milo. Okay, now, let's jump sa oras or sa ending month na. So, mag-Christmas na. Ang mga boxes ng Milo na naubos, yung na-finish na, ay 5 boxes. So, may isang boxes pa tayong natitira. Since na-mention ko, 6, di ba? Yung mga Milo sa box na yon na naging leftover product. So, leftover na sila. Yung mga hindi pa na-sold till end of the year, sila ang commonly known as the stock. Okay? Or, yung mga stocks na merchandise, na for merchandise inventory end. Later on, malalaman natin kung anong proseso. Yung after process ng merchandise
Ending
inventory
merchandise
end.
is classified as a current asset in the statement of financial position because it is expected to provide future benefits by being sold within a period of time. Once sold, the business expects to receive cash from the customer.
So, sa ending merchandise naman, di ba, no, he is known as the current asset in the statement of financial position. So, ano nga ba yung kinalaman? Ba't si statement of financial position may kinalaman dito? It's because, you know, yung process, yung meaning nito, it's because the item na ibebenta ay high value po siya. Which means mga properties, land, building. Yung example, Starbucks company, di ba, may statement of financial position sila. Bakit daw? It's because they are a large business. So, may mga large businesses, yung large businesses with high value, sila ang nagbebenta ng ending merchandise. Yung ending merchandise ay hindi nirerenta or iniuutang. Siya ay binibili from cash. So, yung cash na yon na na-receive nila from customers, yung cash na yon ay future benefits of the business company na ma-expect natin. So, ganon yung ending merchandise.
Merchandise inventory beginning refers to merchandise that remains unsold from the previous accounting period and is expected to be sold this period. If sold within the previous accounting period, beginning merchandise inventory forms part of cost of goods sold in the income statement.
So, sa examples naman ng merchandise inventory beginning, di ba after we talk about merchandise inventory end, where yung stocks ay, where yung mga unsold stocks na nag-end sa December ay tinatawag na merchandise inventory end. So this time, now we will connect merchandise inventory end to merchandise inventory beginning. Ano naman yung merchandise inventory beginning? Dito ang naging sitwasyon ng unsold stock ko. Yung ang ibebenta ko uli, so this time, expect ko na magiging goods na available for sale. This particular period, so expect ko, yung mga leftover product, mabibenta natin ulit siya. Okay, ire-resell natin. Then, after nabili na ni customer, finally, pwede natin maklasify si merchandise inventory beginning as naging cost of goods sold sa ating income statement, which is really ganon. Diba, yung cost of goods sold,
Net cost of purchases is the total amount or merchandise bought including shipping costs, but net of returns and discounts.
Ano naman si net cost of purchases? So, si net cost of purchases, makikita natin ito sa mga resibo. Di ba kasi, you need to know kung ilang total yung cost, yung gastos ba ng merchandise. At saka, kung example, sa Shopee, di ba kung bibili ka ng mga merchandise doon, may mga shipping fee, mga tag 45 pesos or tag 175 pesos. So, part na siya ng ng gastos mo of merchandise, of buying the merchandise. Okay, whether may discounts ba or may 2% discounts, yes, kung sa 11/11 ba, yes. Then, ito yung example, kung bibili ako ng kada pack mga Nescafe or Lucky Me Noodles, sa resibo na yun ay detailed information kung ano yung total na binayaran mo. Okay, magkano ang tigis ng mga product, gaano kamahal ang with shipping cost, kung online ba or madami talaga yung binili mo. So, kailangan mo ng mag-ship sa'yo. At sakahan ilang discounts ang binigay sa'yo. Depende kung gaano ka loyal as a perpetual buyer nila.
Cost of goods available for sale refers to a total amount of merchandise that the business can sell to its customers for a given period of time.
So, next naman, si cost of goods sales, nagre-refer to sa halaga or total ng amount ng merchandise, of course, always expect natin na malaki ang amount ng bibilhin ni malaking business. Dahil maraming paninda or inventory ang bibilhin tig-iisang pack or boxes. Expecting makakita din at last. Dito na ina-include ang lahat ng paninda na ibebenta. Kung yung halimbawa naman kung ako si seller, then I will buy 6 large boxes of magikari or sedap. That 6 boxes of magikari or sedap na nabili ko para benta ko siya ay ang cost of goods sold na magiging available for sale sa paninda ko.
1. Cost of goods sold COGS, the total cost of merchandise sold during the period, and
So, next naman ay cost of goods sold. Ano nga ba yung cost of goods sold? Yung cost of goods sold, since we talk about merchandising sa kung saan ireresan natin yung inventory, at saka hindi yung, di ba alam mo yung cost of goods sold sa manufacturing ay where they babayarin nila yung total na gastos sa raw materials na gagamitin nila pang manufacture ang bagong new items or product. Pero since merchandising ito ang total na money na nakuha natin galing sa merchandise. Yung money galing or kuha na sa, sa ibenta mo or yung na-sell mo, yun yung tatawagin na gastos or cost of goods sold in merchandising. Okay? So,
2. Operating expenses of expenses incurred in the process of earning sales revenue that are deducted from gross profit in the income statement. Examples: salaries, depreciation, utilities, and insurance expenses.
ay si operating expenses. So, operating expenses, expect natin na may mga gastos or mga, may mga babayarin kang gastos while in the process of earning ng ating ng ating revenue. Pero part din dito yung deduction ng gross profit. Kasi si gross profit, yun yung difference ng price of goods sold. Yung minention ko lang kanina, nagastos at presyo kung ibebenta na or selling prices na kung ibebenta na. Take note, yung mga operating expenses ay deducted sa gross profit para ma-determine natin kung net income ba or mas malala kapag net loss. We're counting na lang ang sales revenue natin sa business.
Cost of goods sold and the gross profit form part of the income statement, which reports the business performance from its operations over a period of time.
So, ano naman yung cost of goods sold and the gross profit? Ito ay inilalagay sa income statement. Bakit daw? Part siya or major part na nagbibigay pahayag. Kasi nagre-report siya, di ba? When it comes to report, kailangan natin yung financial report sa performance business ng business. Kung bababa ba or tataas ang ating cost of goods sold. And of course, si gross profit ay nakarelay sa kung gaano kalaki ang ating cost of goods sold. Kailangan natin mano ang ating income statement sa bawat cost of goods sold natin. And when it comes to gross profit, ano nga ba yung gross profit? Gross profit means it is the difference between what a company paid for an item, yung original amount, versus what a company given, selling prices. Example naman kung bibili tayo ng, roller coaster or VCAT o yung mga chichirya, then yung isang roller coaster ay tag 10 pesos. So kung, let's say, kung may sari-sari store ako, hindi naman talaga yung business ko, then ibebenta ko yung roller coaster ko ng tag 15 pesos. So, yung difference ng original prices na naibili ko sa KCC versus sa selling prices na binenta ko sa aking sari-sari store, yun yung gross profit natin.
Sales revenue or sales is the amount of merchandise sold by a business for a specific period of time.
Si sales revenue or sales. So, okay, si sales revenue ay importante daw. Kasi kapag malaki si sales revenue, kasi outcome, di ba yan? After trying to make an income, may outcome din tayo. Okay? Kung malaki daw si sales revenue, malaki din ang ating cost of goods sold, di ba? Which is extremely important na nakakonekta din sa ating gross profit. Okay? So, si sales revenue, siya yung outcome ng ating business. Kung yung ilang income, example, kung naman nagbenta ako ng 50 t-shirts. Kada 50 t-shirts ay 150. Di ba? Nagsabi ako 50 t-shirts. So, kung itatimes natin, mayroon tayo ng mga 7,500 pesos. Kasi yung original price ng t-shirts ay mga 98 pesos. Okay, yun. 98 pesos minus 150 is equals 52 pesos. So, may 52 pesos pa tayong profit. Okay? So, ganon. So, yung 7,500, kung naibenta na lahat yung t-shirts, yung 7,500 pesos, yun yung sales revenue natin kasi siya yung outcome.
The multi-step minus income statement classifies cost and expenses according to their function or use. In a multi-step income statement, operating expenses are typically classified into two.
To be the multi-income statement. Ito ang pinaka-importante ng income statement because siya ang nag-classify or kung saan dito, kung dyan ba or dito, o nag-organize siya nagsiseparate siya ng cost at anong expenses ang dapat babayarin. But take note, each of the costs and expenses ay may pay purpose or sinasabi sa definition, functions, or use. One of its importance ay nag-report din siya ng kinikita, ng business, at mga activities na related sa expense. Madami pang impormasyon na connected sa financial. Because of this multi-income statement, dinidivide niya rin ang operating expenses into two, which is we need to know kung ano ang
1. Distribution costs or selling expenses are expenses incurred by the seller in order to place the merchandise in the hands of the buyer. Common examples: sales salaries and commissions, advertising, rent, utilities, and all other expenses incurred in the business.
Okay, the first one will be distribution cost or selling expenses. Ano nga ba ang proseso o ginagawa ni seller sa selling expenses? We will describe it or relate it sa mga efforts na gigiuse sa market. And they also promote their products. Yun ang ibig sabihin sa definition ng in order to place the merchandise in the hands of the buyer. Okay? You're not gonna be able to order the place, you're not gonna be able to make the buyer buy your products without advertising it. Okay? One of the distribution cost or selling expenses is, examples na ay advertising expenses, where kasi yung distribution cost, which means dinidistribute mo siya. Okay? Para yung mga buyer, willing sila mag-buy ng products mo.
2. Administrative expenses or general expenses are expenses incurred by the seller from day-to-day operations of the business, but are not directly related to selling activities. Common examples: office salaries, insurance on building, depreciation, office supplies used, office rental, office utilities, and all other expenses incurred in the office.
So next naman, ang administrative expenses or general expenses. Sa administrative expenses, you will look at anong position ni seller dito. Since connected ito sa mga malalaking general management na business rin. Dahil malaki ang position dito, ang always nilang ginagawa, or yung mga importanteng gawin ay daily operations, yung pwedeng pag-adjust sa major businesses, pero hindi nila ibinebenta yung mga resources, di ba yung mga resources, products din yun. Kasi part yun ng kanilang human resources na sila lang ang mag-use at hindi para sa customer. Like office salaries, insurance building, all of that is significant for their day-to-day na operasyon or pagtatakbo.
Perpetual inventory systems have traditionally been used by companies that sell merchandise with high unit values, such as automobiles, furniture, and major home appliances.
So, may dalawang klase ng accounting policy for inventory. Pero ang sitwasyon yung namimili. Depende na rin kasi kung anong inventory ang meron kay management. Yung system na tinatawag na perpetual inventory system, kung saan meron kang maintenance ng record sa madaling salita at any given time. Dahil alam mo kung ilan inventories na meron ka. Term ay perpetual, di ba nag-perpetual, something na tuloy-tuloy, yung walang hangganan. Kasi natural advantage sa'yo kung alam mo ang ilang inventories na meron ka. Palagi. So, sakaling perpetual, applicable siya or mas madaming gamitin kung high value, pero yung volume ng transaction ay hindi mabilis. Dito sa perpetual, yung value ng mga inventories mo ay mataas. Kunyari, kotse, ang yung ibinibenta, mga motor, ang bawat 1,000,000 or 100,000, 700,000 pesos. Natural, i-maintain mo kung ilan yan at any given time.
Periodic inventory systems: when merchandise is purchased for resale to customers, the account purchases is debited for the cost of goods purchased.
Sa kabilang sistema naman, itong periodic. Kasi nagkaroon daw ng tawag na physical counting. Nagbibilang pa at the end of account. period. Okay kaya nga ang terminology ay periodic. Kung nagbibilang ka at the end of the period, sa madaling salita, hindi mo talaga alam kung ilan ang inventories mo. Hindi mo alam at any given time. You have, kung sakali low value ang item at high volume ang transaction, mabilis ang transaction, mas mabuti ang gagamitin ay periodic system. Like, to give an example na mas maganda, gamitin natin yung periodic. Kunyari, ikaw ay grocery store, department store, o supermarket store. Meron kang bumibili, meron kang maraming items na kung saan mayat maglalagay ka palang may bumibili na. Kunyari, low value, chichirya piatos, Nova 12 pesos ang cost ng inventory. Ganon kamura yung items sa periodic. Yes.
Under the perpetual inventory system, merchandise inventory increases. However, since we are using the periodic inventory system, there is no need to constantly update our inventory account. Instead, we focus on where the purchased merchandise transaction will become part of.
Perpetual. Used for both expensive and inexpensive items, more costly to implement, record exists in every movement of inventory. Inventory physical count is made at least once a year. X. Jewelry stores, car dealers, and furniture shops.
Periodic. Used for inexpensive items, cheaper to implement. No record is kept for transactions involving inventory movement. Inventory physical count is made at least once a year. Inventory physical count is made at year end to establish ending inventory amounts. X. Supermarket hardware, sorry stores.
Hello is not can I explain any accounting terms just what is cost of goods sold. Cooks will make cost of goods sold refers to the carrying value of the goods sold during a particular period. So yung meaning niya ay maraming mga negosyo ay nagbebenta ng mga kalakal na mayroon silang binibili o ginagawa. Kapag ang mga kalakal ay binibili o ginagawa, ang mga gastos na nauugnay na may ganitong mga kalakal ay nakakapitalize bilang bahagi. Expenses include the cost of products or raw materials including freight or shipping charges, the cost of storing products, the business sales, direct labor's cost for workers who produce the products, and factory overhead expenses and depreciation ng inventaryo o stock ng mga kalakal na tinatawag nating stock of goods. These costs are treated as an expenses in the period. The business recognized income from the sale of the good. Determining cost requires keeping record of goods or materials purchased in any discount sa naturang pagbili bilang karagdagan. Kung ang mga kalakal ay binago, ang negosyo ay dapat matukoy ng mga gastos na natamo sa pagbago ng mga cost of goods, tulad ng pagbago kasama ng mga gastos, ang mga supply sa paggawa o karagdagang. So, what is cost of goods sold? Often difficult, mahirap siya dahil sa due to a variety of consideration in the allocation of cost of goods sold. May also reflect adjustment among the potential adjustment. So, are decline in value of the goods, for an example, yung lower market value than cost and obligates, etc. Kailangan maramihang mga cost of goods ang binili o ginawa ito. So, parang kinakailangan upang matukoy kung alin ang mga gasto, nauugnay kung aling mga particular na cost of goods ang ibebenta, ito ay maaaring gawing gamit ang isang pagkakailangan, kumbensyon tulad ng tiyak perpetual and periodic. In the merchandising business and today, gusto kong palawakin ng ideyang iyon. So, I want to show you how to account for many units of inventory at the same time. We do that using the perpetual and periodic inventory system, but first, some definition. In the merchandising business, inventory is the goods held by business that intends to sell to earn revenue. So, a perpetual system continuously updates a business inventory account. Goods are bought and sold on a unit-by-unit basis. Whereas a periodic system updates regular intervals. So, karaniwang itong natitrigger bilang physical na inventaryo na nangyayari sa katapusan ng bawat panahon ng accounting na maaaring mangyayari pagkatapos nito or bawat buwan, quarter o sa katapusan ng isang taon ng financial. Kaya ano ang mga kalamangan at kahinaan ng panghabang buhay at panapanahong mga sistema ng inventaryo? A perpetual inventory system continuously updates your book, which means, in theory, that is possible to see your result in a real time. Pinapadali din siya ng system na ito subaybayan ng mga antas ng inventaryo para mabilis mo makita ang mga kahulugan ng stock. But this comes at a price. Maaaring magastos ang mag-set up ng isang panghabang buhay na sistema ng inventaryo at hindi itong palaging maaasahan. You can sometimes find difference between inventory levels in the system and what they are in real life. So, some of your inventory might have been lost or stolen, or there could be some human error involved. But this uncertainty pushed some business to double-check their number using periodic inventory accounts. So, ang mga pakinabang ng periodic system ay iyon, ito ay medyo simple at ang mga gastos sa pag-set up ay malamang na mas mababa. However, since you are only checking your inventory levels periodically. Welcome to my vlog.
Bag, ma'am.
Abag, bag. Laptop? Laptop. Hindi po.